All right. I think we are live. Finally, we had some technical difficulties this morning. This is going well. All right. I think we're good now. Hi, everybody. Let's make sure that we're good here. I'll open up my chat box and we're off for another live with Joe Bladek this morning. Post your questions and I look forward to answering them for you. Okay, yes, we're live. Great stuff. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everyone had a good Father's Day weekend. Hope everyone had a good Father's Day. My kids made me some awesome cards. Should have brought them up here, actually. They were nice and big. I got one from each of my kids. I hope that your kids did something nice for you. I got some time to myself, which is really nice and very, very rare these days. So that was nice as well. So thank you to Melissa for that, making that happen. All right, I'm just going to make sure that we are live and rolling. Say hi if you're out there. Let's see here. I'll make sure that we are good to go. Okay, it looks like we are live. That's great. So as the teacher says, ask me something. And there's really easy way to ask me a question today. You can ask me anonymously like usual. You go to this that link that I put there to ask anonymously. You click the link and it loads up this form and you'll see my name my picture right there, and you can just ask your question anonymously there. You can say, hi, where did you get your t-shirt? Something like that, right? And you just hit submit, send my question, and then you'll get a really cool thank you saying that you've submitted your question and I will answer it on the air. Alternatively, you can text me directly to my phone and I will answer that way. Today's theme, refinancing. And you don't have to ask questions about refinancing. I just choose a theme to help with, guiding the conversation and where it's going to go. If you have a question about your credit, if you have a question about how much money you need for a down payment, if you have questions about what interest rates are, go ahead and ask your question. There's no stupid questions. If you want to ask me when the last time I got my haircut is, that is fine too. I'll just make sure I open up my chat here as well so we can get that all going. And how did we do the chat last time? Analytics, let's see, chat and open in browser. I'm still getting used to this whole Restream app. No messages waiting. All right. You can also ask questions in the social media chat, whether you're watching on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page or on my personal page. Great. So I'll just check here to see if we got any questions yet. And we can get started. What questions do we have this morning? And so far, we only have my question, which is, where did I get this t-shirt? Well, I really like this t-shirt. I bought it online and I was lucky enough to find a tall size. It's really important to find tall size shirts for me, custom length shirts, because if I wear a normal size shirt, you can see my belly button. Anyway, so this week's theme is refinancing. Refinancing your mortgage, a lot of people do that to pay off debt. A lot of people do that to invest in another property. A lot of people refinance their mortgages to buy a car, to go on vacation. A lot of people refinance their mortgages to invest in a business. So if you have any questions about refinancing your mortgage, shoot it down in the comments or anonymously through my form or send me a text. Good morning, David. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the heads up, the mention there. All right, so I guess we have our first question. Does it cost anything to refinance? That's a good question, actually. I get that question a lot, and it does cost money to refinance. Usually the costs involved are legal fees, costs involved are appraisal fees, and the costs involved are mortgage penalties. The ideal situation would be that the refinancing occurs near or at your maturity date for your mortgage to avoid the mortgage penalties, that we find a lender that can pay for your appraisal and or at least rebate your appraisal, or if not that, we can find you a lender with a really good interest rate, so good of an interest rate that it makes sense to actually break that mortgage and pay those fees. A lot of the times right now, I've seen people breaking mortgages around 3% and getting into a mortgage in around 2%. And even if you're paying the extra fees to cancel and close off your current mortgage, just by adding that to the balance of your new mortgage at the lower interest rate can save you thousands over the long term. And the way I like to calculate how it saves my clients is based on 3 different things. So we look at all the aspects. We not only look at how much the payment difference is in lower rate, but we also look at how much extra principal you can pay off in that 5 years. And we also look at how much interest you save over the next 5 years. So really interesting stuff. I look at that in an Excel spreadsheet and I send that off to you. So it can cost something to refinance. A lot of the times we try to roll that into the new mortgage or ask a lender as part of the whole deal that we can incorporate some of those costs some way. A lot of the times if you're refinancing, simply switching from your current lender to a new lender can give you some advantages, because even though you're with your current lender, switching, that new lender can give you financial perks to move your mortgage over, and a lot of those times they'll pay for some expenses with regards to your refinancing as well. And that all depends on the time of year you're refinancing and the demand that the banks have for mortgages. Okay, great question, whoever submitted that. So again, you can submit questions anonymously through my online form. It's really easy. You click on the anonymous link and you can submit any question at all. It doesn't have to be a smart question. You can ask me anything about mortgages or online through the social media apps, or just text me directly. Okay, I got a question here. Wondering if you can match or beat 2.34%. So thank you for texting that question in. Yes, 2.34% is a good rate right now. However, there are much lower rates right now. Perhaps we could look into whether you're talking about a 3-year fixed or a 4-year fixed or a 5-year fixed. But rates right now are lower than 2.34%. So if you're getting a rate of 2.34%, that's too high and you should be looking elsewhere for a mortgage. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, do I need to go into an office to sign any paperwork for my refinance? And that's a great question. Right now, I've closed my office to the public since March, and there's been no in-person meetings since March. We are doing everything electronically. Meetings, we're doing face-to-face over video. We're doing Skype calls, Zoom calls, Google Hangout calls, WhatsApp calls, FaceTime calls, any type of video calls, Facebook Messenger video calls, anything that you prefer. Even phone calls good. to meet with you, and we're doing e-signing for mortgage documents, which actually makes it a lot easier for a lot of people, because if I have to meet with you, you also have to meet with me and take the time away from your day to make that meeting happen. Whereas a lot of folks are finding it really easy to meet with their mortgage broker online via video. That way they can do it between things and not really interrupt their schedule. I'm getting a lot of good feedback on our online abilities. So we're doing all signing online. We're doing all meetings online. It's really, really painless. So you don't actually have to go into any office or waste a mask on coming into my office. We're doing everything electronically. Great question. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. Remember, you can submit online. We got 3 questions now. And if we hit 20 questions today, I have my guitar and we'll play a song online with the guitar. So 20 questions, we're at 3 so far. Let me take a note of that. 3 questions. Okay. So do we have any more texted questions? All right. Any other texted questions? Nothing there. And let's see our anonymous submission form. All right, no questions there. I encourage you to do your questions. Maybe I can talk about what I did on Father's Day in the meantime. So while I wait for your questions, so for Father's Day, I had I got the house to myself, which was very odd. For the first time, like pretty much since March, I had some time to myself. I could hear myself think for the first time in a while, which was really nice. And COVID has been impactful, as working from home is great, but there's always people around, right? So it can be a little bit loud sometimes. What did you do on Father's Day? Anything fun? I ate a lot of pizza and lasagna from Theo's. We ordered in. It was really good. And then I ate all leftovers too. So that was great. Okay. Oh, we got a question here. I'm on the CERB. Can I still qualify for my refinance? Great question. So if you're on the CERB because of COVID layoff and you're not back at work yet, we won't be able to qualify you for your refinance until you're back at work, unfortunately. Even though the CERB is a taxable source of income, we have to wait until you're actually back at work and that your employer can verify this with a letter and a pay stub. Once we can do that, we can start your process of the refinance and get you the lower rate or pay off your debt or whatever you need to do. If you are on the CERB but still need cash for whatever reason, and it's an emergency, you don't need to worry. We could do a second mortgage for that short term between you being laid off and going back to work, and then pay off that second mortgage once you're back at work with a refinance. So there are short-term solutions if you can't wait. That's actually a really good question. So that's up to 4 questions. We are 16 questions away from me playing guitar live online. Okay. All right. Any other questions here? Let's see if anyone's texted me. Okay. Again, we can post questions through my YouTube channel in the comments. I'll see them here. You can post them on my Facebook page, my Facebook personal page, or my Facebook group page, either one of those places. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, we got a text question this morning. Thanks very much. Question number 5. Can we refinance even though we have a lot of debt right now? We are concerned that we would not be able to qualify And if the bank saw our debts, we would not be able to be approved, and our current mortgage might be in jeopardy. Oh, great question. It's a really great question. A lot of folks have that where they think that if they go to a bank or apply for a refinance at a time when their debts are really high, that it'll put their current mortgage in jeopardy or not be able to be approved for a refinance. And that's simply not true. Refinancing is mainly for people paying off debts. Say you're currently in your house and you've been paying off your mortgage for a few years, and if you accumulated some high interest credit card debt, or you have a car loan payment right now that you're having a struggle paying for whatever reason, or there's just so much debt that it's that you're simply working to pay off your debt and your mortgage, that's a great reason to explore refinancing. You can give me a call or a text, or actually book an appointment through that link, and we can look at those specific numbers to see how much cash flow we can save you each month with reorganizing your debts into the mortgage. If you can't get approved for the refinance, it will not put your current mortgage in jeopardy. Your current mortgage is a contract and it will be fulfilled until the end. So you don't have to worry about that. The bank will simply say, we can't offer to lend any additional money, but we're happy to keep them on as a client right now. So no big deal there. Okay, great question though. And a lot of people are doing that too, to pay off debts right now because of COVID and income loss. And they're also taking this opportunity to lock in a lower rate at this time because rates are really low. And if you're refinancing now, might as well get the lower rate at the same time, so you can do both at the same time. Okay, see if we got any other questions coming in. Remember, you can put them online on the chat box, on social media, you can text directly, or you can fill in the form. The form is really easy. It's an anonymous form, and you can just put your questions in there and then hit submit. It's really easy to get your questions submitted. Okay. Okay, no questions yet. Let's see, check my online chat here. Okay, we got another question here coming in anonymously. How long does the whole process take? Yep. So how long does the process take? It's a great question. A lot of people think, hey, if I call a mortgage broker up, can we get this done by the end of the week? Actually, it takes a little bit extra time than that. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks minimum to process a refinance, usually 4 weeks. So give it a month. And that gives you time to make sure that you get the approval, that the appraisal comes in at the value you want it to come in at, and gets the lawyer the ability to finish everything off to pay off the old mortgage with the new mortgage and to give you the rest of the money, or to pay off your debts or whatever you're using the money for. And that's actually another question that just came in here. Can we use the money for anything we want? And yes, to a certain extent you can. If you have a lot of debt and you can't qualify for the refinance without paying off that debt, then you'll have to pay off some of the debt first. However, if your debts are low, you can use that money for whatever reasons you wish. You can use that money to invest in another rental property or invest in a vacation property. A lot of people are buying properties in Muskoka right now because, you know, I see people moving to Muskoka because it's cheaper there and they're going to work remotely for the time being or for the long term. A lot of people are refinancing now for renovations. I have some people that are finishing a basement. You can also take the money and refinance to do some extra improvements to your home. Perhaps you wanted to add an addition of some kind. All that you can use your equity for in a refinance. And at the same time, get a lower rate in the meantime, because rates are really low right now. You can even take that money and put it in a savings account and just keep it in there for yourself for a rainy day. Perhaps you're concerned that there might be a second wave of COVID and want to have an emergency fund in your account in case anything happens. You can refinance and actually put those funds in an emergency fund and keep it in there. Okay. So great questions today. I think we're up to 7 questions now. Let me make a note of that. And if we have 20 questions, I'll play a song online on my guitar. You can submit your question online through my anonymous form. Let's see if we got any questions. You can text me a question as well, or you can even book an appointment. So remember the t-shirt. All right. Okay, so we got a question coming in online here through the anonymous form. Thank you very much for using that anonymous form. Do I have to pay a lawyer to finish a refinance? And how does it work with meeting with a lawyer during COVID? Well, a lot of lawyers are actually not working from the office right now, and a lot of them are meeting electronically. So to finalize things, you can meet electronically. Lawyers are closing files over FaceTime right now, and that's almost a new norm at this point. So it's really easy. You don't need to leave your comfort of your own home and risk going outside for any reason that's unnecessary. So that's good. Paying a lawyer, a lot of lenders will actually pay for this if you're switching lenders. So if you're looking to get a refinance and to have it paid for on the legal side, we can explore that option. There are some options out there for you. Right now, there are some promotions where if you switch lenders from one lender to the other, you could look at getting that paid for. Also, we need to look at interest rates. Sometimes having the lawyer paid for might have not as good of a rate as maybe going with your current lender or a different lender and getting an even better rate. Because sometimes what the lenders do is they'll price in that paying of the lawyer into the interest rate. So all depends what's important for you and how you want to make that happen. All right, great question. I think we're up to 8 questions, but we're almost out of time here. I'm trying to keep these to about half an hour on Monday mornings. If anyone has any suggestions as to when I should run these Q&A sessions, perhaps it's better in the evening, perhaps it's better on the weekend, perhaps it's better during a different day, maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday, let me know. Right now, I'm trying to do Monday mornings around 10 or 10:30 till about 10:30 to 11. Today we started about 10:15. So let's see what's happening. Any other questions today? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, nothing yet. Any suggestions for next week's topic or theme? I would love to hear from you. Even if you're watching this video after the fact, if you have some questions regarding any mortgage related items, send me a text message, book an appointment with me, or leave it below. If you have any suggestions for any themes for next week, we could do that as well. Leave it below. And I'll just wait another 30 seconds here to see if there's any other questions coming in. Okay. Okay, we have a question coming in. This will be the last question for today. Question number 9. Okay, do I have to take money out of my mortgage if I want just a better rate, or can I just get the better rate? Yep, you can just get the better rate. So if you're not looking to take any equity out right now with the refinance and simply just want to get a better interest rate, I could do that for you as well. That's more called a transfer, where you take your current mortgage and transfer it to a company that's offering you a better rate. And in those instances where you don't need any extra money, in those instances, all the costs to transfer your mortgage are paid for by the new lender. That's legal costs, appraisal costs, and that's really good and gives you actually a great opportunity to get a low interest rate. Excuse me. So if you took some examples right now, we have a client that's at 3.59. We're trying to get them at 2.29, I believe it was. Just the lender that they want to go with. and it's a big interest rate reduction. They'll save huge on interest, total interest over the next 5 years, the ability to pay off extra principal in the next 5 years, and a lower payment. I think the comparison savings was like $18,000 across all three things. So even if you have a penalty of $5,000 from your current mortgage company to break that mortgage, with all the savings rolled in, you'd still be ahead $13,000 in that case, which is pretty fantastic. And if you look at the long term, it makes sense. So if you have any specific scenarios, that was our last question for today. If you have any specific scenarios, feel free to reach out to me via text message or book an appointment or call. We can set an appointment to look over your specific scenario. I would love to talk about that with you. And thanks for joining me today on this week's edition of Live with Joe Bladek. We'll try this again next Monday. If you have any themes that you would like to suggest, drop a comment below. Or if you have any questions, feel free to text me or send me a question through that form anytime. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, I hope you guys all have a great week. And thanks for joining in today. Really appreciate it. And we'll try to play a song on the air next week instead. We're up to 9 questions this week, so that's a record. I'm pretty excited. We'll try to get 20 next week. Bye for now.